nature is dozens of things, means that will create a very large emergent outcome, which is exactly what the Sims is about. And I found that really fascinating. So a given, this is a very, very simplified version of how the Sims works. You have an object. The object is a couch. The couch has some basic characteristics like how big it is and what it looks like. It also says, I am here for sitting. And I have a radius of this. And then there's a chair. And the chair says, I also am here for sitting. And I have a radius of this. And depending on where the player puts those, the character might sit there, or it might sit there, or it might not sit at all. And it becomes a very, very unpredictable system. But the actual logic is incredibly simple. It says, I am a couch, I am here for sitting. I might also be, I am here for sitting, and I am excellent for sitting and watching television. I tend to afford sitting that lasts a long time, and the chair will be, I tend to afford short sessions of sitting. But these are, again, they're very, very simple little rules, like a chessboard, that play out by the system. And you end up needing very, very little randomness to make that really, really immersive. So that's cool, right? Easy. You can all do that. Here's another one. Experience design. Game designers love to talk about Six Sigma High. How you take High. Which is love to spell it. But he wrote a book called Flow, which, okay, 2 books you have to read after you leave here. You have to read Donald Norman's Design for Everyday Things. You have to read Six Sigma High's Flow. And I forget what the rest of it is. Something about optimal experience. It's called Flow, and it's an amazing book. And he talks about, this is actually a graphic from his book, about what it feels like to be in that perfect flow state. He's a tennis player. He talks about when you're playing tennis against someone against whom you are perfectly matched. And you feel like everything's just working for you. So video games are constantly trying to build that state. Here's the thing, we tend to do it in a way that is naive and incorrect. And it's all right there in that graph, which is that flow is not a one-dimensional line, it's not linear, it's a two-dimensional band or channel. And so you have to actually take the person out of comfort, back into comfort, out of comfort, and back into comfort, and like that, indefinitely, so they actually remain interested. Because being at your perfect state of this task is perfectly matched to my abilities is fundamentally unstable, which is kind of weird. You would think no, that's how it's supposed to be perfect all the time, but that's actually wrong. So you can think of games that do this. By the way, this is the basis on which we build dynamic difficulty systems. And if you play a lot of games, a lot more games have dynamic difficulty than you know. So, sorry. I destroyed someone's youth recently giving a lecture about that. So we build that to try and get that in a perfect state. The other thing about experience design is sequencing. We want stuff to go kind of random-ish. So why would we make it kind of random-ish? So it feels random. Why would we make it A, B, 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 C, 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 B, D? Because it's predictable. It's not predictable. Boring. These are all very vague terms. Here's an example. And this is from an actual game that EA did a number of years ago called Dead Space. And the top is the sequencing under which they introduce the bad guys. So they come try to eat your face. And the bottom is the sequencing under which they introduce the puzzles and sort of unique little gameplay bits. And what we discovered, unsurprisingly, was that people found the combat boring and the exploration exciting. The unfortunate bit is that the team had invested so much time in all these different enemies and so much money in creating and animating them, and yet after about the 4th enemy, users stopped perceiving that there was anything new at all in there. And they're just oh, I think I'll kill a bad person. And they stopped caring what it might behave like. But in case of the puzzles and the zero gravity things and all that kind of stuff, it was exciting because you never knew what was coming next. Essentially, it's the same experience as if you're walking through a haunted house. Or I really like to have people that just go to Disneyland and go on the Teacups ride, and then go on like the Indiana Jones ride. I'm like, how are those different? The Teacups is great for children because they like that kind of repetition. They don't care. But as soon as you get sort of cognitively mature, that no longer works for you. And you need to have something that is fundamentally unpredictable, or else it's not real. There's this sort of uncanny valley of experience that says if that experience repeats too frequently, or in a way that I can predict, then it's not real and I don't care. Actually, I had this really fun slide. I should have put it in here. There's like a savanna with a tiger in it, and the same savanna with no tiger in it. And people can identify the difference between those two photos in like a tiny fraction of a second. But as like a computer vision hack, it would be brutal. So we're really good at this. Like we see patterns really, really fast. So you have to hide your patterns. This was a fun thing I had one of my students do recently. This illustrates how he needed to change his game because it was way too predictable and simple. I also really liked that he had actually tracked absurdity as a metric. But these things have to cross over more than that. So he's working on fixing that. Alright, so this is more interesting stuff. User mechanics. So this is interesting. Usually when we make games, we think of them in terms of what you do, and then maybe where it is, or what the story might be, and then finally like how that makes me feel. I think when you think about games as a player, this is the way you think. I did stuff, it took me to a place, it made me feel excited, it made me feel afraid, it made me feel joyful, it made me feel whatever. And that's a really kind of easy way to start playing like a game. I played this other game land, blah, 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 and this is a very common way of making games. You end up with something like that. It's a survival shooter, it's on the moon, and I guess you're scared or something. Awesome, let's make it. And it's really good for making sequels and stuff like that. So I got to be around that for a long time in my life. But we could start messing around with that. So what if we put the premise on the outside? And then we made some functions, and then there's an emotion, and that's what we do when there's a story game. Right? Four people marooned on a desert island, there's a space marine, whatever, and basically you end up with what's supposed to be lost in space, the game. And oftentimes kind of vacant when it comes down to the emotion piece. And I just found all this kind of uninteresting, and I asked my students to try to flip it inside out. So instead of starting with what the game does, start with how you want the player to feel. What would happen if you just started with that? So let's play with that. This will work less well with this crowd. Here's one I do a lot. Can you all name something that you have to do every day that you find annoying? Oh, this? Parking. Driving. Yes, that usually comes up. Driving in traffic, find parking. I want to make these games a lot. This comes up very often as it's driving in traffic. So, what's the emotions you get when you're trying to find a parking spot or driving? And it's like, what does it feel like? You're alert. Definitely alert. Well, these are good. So what then is something that you might like to do to be an expression of those emotions if you could? You could get a reward for finding a parking space. Yeah. How about your progress? You could do that. What was this last one? Bash another car right out of the way. Just bash it out of the way. How would that feel? She's like, yes, that. Who played the game called Burnout? I exactly what that game is. That's exactly what that game is. You drive really fast amongst traffic. You're very alert because you're going, I think that it's going like something like 220, 250 miles an hour because they've scaled it really weird. You hit cars, and when you hit cars, you are rewarded with points and extra boosts. Go. You're like, she's like, yeah, that's my game. So this is an example where you start with an emotion, you go outward into the features. And now you say, well, what are some other features we can add to Burnout? And like, that's going to get easy. Now, like, it's got to fit, but it's not that hard to make it fit. And you know what the emotion is. So this is something that I've added to the curriculum that we do at Santa Cruz, is I make my students do prototypes based on an emotion. The emotion must be reflected in the actual mechanics, the actual functions of the game. So you can't say boo and say that's scary. You actually have to have something jump out at you or something, whatever you're going to do for scary. And some of these get pretty hard. The way I do it is that we do a random roll for which one you get, and you have to build that game, and then we bring in people to play it, and they have to guess which one you had. This has been so much fun. I think our best one we had this year was probably we had one for loss and one for confusion. They were both really, really good. The loss one was terribly sad. You had two characters. One was a... Yeah. How do you get boredom? We had someone get boredom, and they made something that was boring. Actually, that was incredibly difficult. Because how do you make it boring without it being stupid? Because stupid doesn't count. Because people just go, well, this is incompetent. That's not what we're going after. I could definitely come up with something that, let me talk about loss, because so we have two characters. One had a post-it, and the other one is a Sharpie. And you go through this thing where like it's a cooperative, two-player cooperative thing, and you have to get through all these like platforming challenges, and then you get to the very end, and only the Sharpie can make it, and the post-it is left behind forever. And the farther they are apart, the more the screen fades to black and white and out of color. And they took it all like photographing the top of their desk, you know. And people played it and they were like, lost. Yeah, some people mistake it for love, which is interesting. But well, yeah, lost is pretty good. Boredom, I mean, we can talk about this forever, right? This is such a fun task. And what it gets to is other definition of game, which came from the very famous game designer Sid Meier in this photograph. It's the creator of Civilization, most famously. And he defines games as a series of interesting choices. And I kind of like to twist that a little and say a series of meaningful choices. So if the player's choices evoke that emotion, you're going to get somewhere interesting. That's where your boredom one gets difficult, right? Is the choices have to become mundane or something. But where it's very clear that the player is only given, that. Or you might think like a teenager at home in the summer complaining about how bored he or she is, right? This is like the pain of a parent. You're not bored. Look at all the things around you to do. Oh, it's interesting to me. Like, how are you going to do that? Present it like that could get really interesting. That could get really fun. These are not very commercial ideas, but they might be quite fun. So when we're building out an emotion to function, like this is where we've taken these foundations. We've said we're built on these loops. So this is still going to be affordance, action, and feedback. So in the case of the Post-it and the Sharpie game, the affordance is where we have to jump over things. We have to go together. There were things where you had to both be on the platform or else it wouldn't move, right? And then the feedback was that it moved. And then there was the last one where the affordance was, I think Sharpie could jump higher or something very simple. The affordance was that's a jump that's only makeable by Sharpie. And very clear. And they could have done more with the feedback, because as the person playing the post-its would try and try and try. They probably should have made that a bit clearer. Feedback, and feedback is always actually the hardest part. So there it is. It's all kind of in that loop. And now Sharpie, and some people, by the way, playing the Sharpie, they just say, no, I'm not going. I'm not going to finish this game. Like, we're just going to stay here. All with a Sharpie, photographs of the Sharpie, and a pad of post-its. It's all in there, right? It's all in these very simple ideas that brought out in these other contexts. So it's credible. If my goal was to say, I have something like a curriculum, I have something like a set of ideas and exercises that I believe will teach you in this really short span of time the things that took me 20 years to learn. That's my question. Well, of course, I'm going to say yes, right? I have to say that because I'm here. I think it's really close. And one of the things that has kind of excited me is our students, the students at Santa Cruz, when they get stuck, when they've got a game that isn't working, I'll see those diagrams on the whiteboard. And you're like, oh, we totally messed up on the feedback piece on this. Or it's boring because we only have one core loop. We need another loop going on. So we have a game that's like a ball game, where the characters are just jumping around and trying to score. Cool. You've seen that before. It's like a sort of a 2D version of NBA Jam or something. But they realized it was getting pretty dull. And they thought, well, what if we added another loop so that you could beat each other up while you're doing it? So you've got Smash Brothers plus NBA Jam. Both of which are very simple. But you put them together and you've got a game that's really immersive and really interesting and actually really fun. Which is kind of crazy, but that's how that comes from. That's how these ideas can build into actual games. And so this is kind of where the whole idea that I'm talking about goes, which is if we believe in theory, I hope that people learning this can be better positioned for innovating, for doing new things. Honestly, a lot of this that I had to do for myself was during the past 3 years I spent at Glass Lab, and Keith got to hear some of this, because I needed to be able to communicate what game design is to people that are other professionals in the world of education. So I had no idea what it was, and really didn't have the 20 years that it would take to do it the way I did it. And I'm hoping that having some of those ideas really kind of works as well in taking the ideas of game design to other areas. So, in other words, we get to an and. I would like to believe that the sort of apprenticeship model of which I learned, and yes, I played a lot of Sonic when I was young, has brought me to a place where I can actually say, yes, I credibly understand game design. Yes, I can credibly communicate game design. Even if you only give me 25 minutes, I can do my best in such a fashion that people will learn from it and kind of scale in a way that it could never scale in the apprentice model. So, that answers this question then. Was it worth it? So for me, this is worth it. This is kind of my new life's work, and I love talking about it. And that's it, and we can take questions.
Program AlphaGo received one of the best broadband players, and this was a significant advancement for the game of Go and pseudo-Go, but also artificial intelligence in general. And so it's very finally have you can see on today's sheet very simple kind of computer code. So